Jimin was furious, not because of political provocation, nor because of a complicated personal issue, but because of something that, on the surface, seemed trivial. Jungkook, his best friend and fellow member of BTS, had left him alone in the middle of the night to go to a convenience store, just to greet fans. This incident instantly created a wave of widespread debate, both among fans and within the military unit where they were serving their mandatory military service. What really happened behind this seemingly simple incident? Was Jimin's reaction justified? Or was Jungkook simply too reckless? According to reports circulating, the incident occurred when the military unit where Jimin and Jungkook were stationed got a break at night. At that time, they were both seen chatting casually in the unit's canteen. The atmosphere was calm, filled with light laughter about the hard days of training. But suddenly, Jungkook stood up, put on his jacket, and simply said, "I'll be right back." There was no explanation, no plan discussed. Jimin thought he was just going out for a moment to the bathroom or to get some air. But what happened turned out to be far from his expectations. A few minutes after Jungkook left, another soldier reported seeing Jungkook at a convenience store outside the military complex. Shockingly, he wasn't alone. A crowd of fans was already waiting for him. How could Jungkook's location be spread so quickly? Did it leak through social media, or was there an internal party involved? The fact that the fans were carrying cell phone cameras, small posters, and even shouting his name hysterically showed that the meeting was not a chance encounter. The atmosphere of the convenience store, which should have been calm, turned into a small riot point. One of the guards at the location reported the situation out of control. To make matters worse, Jungkook was reportedly gone without official permission. This wasn't just a minor violation. In the disciplined world of the military, such actions could trigger serious consequences. Jimin, known for his strict adherence to regulations during his service, wouldn't stand idly by. As soon as Jungkook returned to the barracks, Jimin reportedly immediately said, "You left your unit just for a selfie with fans. Do you think this is a concert?" This expression not only depicted anger, but also deep disappointment from a friend and fellow soldier. More than just a momentary emotion, Jimin's reaction reflected a crisis of trust and collective ethics in the midst of a heavy national duty. Jimin's anger continued. He reportedly chose not to speak to Jungkook all night, even refusing to eat together. The next morning, when the physical training schedule hadn't started yet, Jimin was seen training alone. An action that showed that he was trying to channel his emotions in a productive way, but also signaled an emotional distance that was beginning to form. The public was divided. On the one hand, many supported Jimin and considered his actions to be a manifestation of discipline and loyalty to military duty. Hashtags like #RespectMilitaryDuty and #ProtectJimin dominated social media. They considered Jungkook's actions impulsive and risky, both for himself and other members of the unit. On the other hand, Jungkook's supporters defended their idol's decision. "He just wants to show his gratitude. It's human," wrote one user on X, formerly Twitter. For them, Jungkook had no bad intentions. He was simply responding to the love from fans who had been supporting him all along, even while he was serving in the military. However, what made this incident more complex was the previous track record. This wasn't the first time Jungkook had experienced privacy intrusions during his mandatory military service. Some reports mentioned that he had previously been followed by fans, even receiving deliveries to the training location. But this time, the escalation was higher because of Jungkook's own decision that triggered a spontaneous mass presence. As of this writing, HYB, the agency, has not issued an official statement. But from military sources, it is reported that there has been an internal summons for an investigation into possible procedural violations. If proven, Jungkook could face administrative sanctions, something that could potentially worsen the group's internal dynamics and its image in the eyes of the public. The big question then arises, is this just a small incident that will pass? Or will it leave a deep emotional wound between the two BTS members who have been known to be very close? A Korean pop culture analyst said that such conflicts are not unfamiliar in military life, especially for public figures. But with the double pressure of being a global idol, every personal decision they make can turn into a national drama. From a broader perspective, this incident also implies important lessons. First, that mandatory military service is not a space for public figures to relax. It is a national duty that demands consistency, responsibility, and full commitment. Second, that fan love, if not wisely limited, can become a psychological burden for artists who are trying to live a normal life as citizens. And third, that society needs to distinguish between support and intrusion. What Jungkook did could be understood as an expression of affection for the army. But did he cross the ethical line in a military situation? Jimin, in his anger, doesn't seem to be questioning the fans, but rather the principles and loyalty to his teammates. In the military world, togetherness is not just a slogan. It is a value system that is firmly held. Now, the spotlight is not only on the two of them, but also on how the media and the public treat this incident. Have we become too quick to judge? Have we absorbed information based on popularity, not accuracy? Viral videos, eyewitness posts, or even articles like this all can lead to opinion if not read with critical reasoning. Finally, we have to ask, is what happened between Jimin and Jungkook really a serious crisis, or just a form of the immense pressure they have to bear in silence? As time goes on, we may know if Jimin's anger is the beginning of a new emotional distance, or rather an important lesson that will strengthen their relationship as brothers and soldiers. However, amidst the emotional uproar and news coverage that floods various digital platforms, there is a fundamental question that we should ask together. Did this event really happen? Is it true that Jungkook left his military unit without permission just to meet army at a convenience store? Or is this just part of a narrative that is deliberately constructed, disseminated, and amplified so that the public is emotionally provoked? Let's take a breath and think clearly. Information about this incident does not come from official military statements, not from HYB's clarification, nor is there strong documentation other than viral video clips circulating on TikTok and speculation from Twitter posts and YouTube channels. Is that enough as evidence of truth? Why are we so quick to believe narratives that haven't been verified? Is it because the big name BTS makes everything seem real, even though it might just be a digital illusion created by algorithms and clickbait? In an era where one short video can give birth to long speculation and one hashtag can shape mass opinion, are we still able to distinguish between information and manipulation? Are we really reading factual reports? Or are we just passive consumers of very sophisticated communication strategies? Perhaps we need to ask, who benefits most from the virality of this story? Is it the digital media that gets a surge in views? Are these fan accounts looking for attention? Or is this actually part of a social experiment to test how quickly opinion can be formed and how far netizens are willing to engage in a conflict that may not be real? Have we ever questioned the motives behind narratives like this? Is it possible that the conflict between Jungkook and Jimin is fictional, constructed to divert public attention from other more substantial issues? Isn't it interesting that as the world's attention begins to shift from entertainment to global issues, suddenly an emotional story emerges that can capture the attention of millions of people in a short time? We also have to consider, is there a possibility that this information is a fabrication created to maintain the existence of BTS's big name in the public space during their military hiatus? If so, is it wrong? Or is this just a legitimate communication strategy in the entertainment industry? However, if this incident is really real, isn't it worrying that an idol like Jungkook can become a target of fans even into his supposedly closed military duty space? Has global society lost the line between supporting and interfering? Isn't this the time for us to ask if our love for idols is still healthy, or has it turned into a social pressure that burdens them?